Welcome to Financial Clinic, your ultimate guide to achieving financial success. Proudly sponsored by NCBA Bank. Join Sally Limo as she expertly shares invaluable tips and insights designed to empower you in reaching both your personal, business, and financial goals with NCBA Bank. Your journey to a brighter financial future starts here.
NCBA. Go for it.
My name is Hepzibah Oronda. I'm the head of Gold Banking, which is one of the segments under consumer banking at NCBA Bank. In Gold Banking, we manage the middle affluent customers who are at an age where they have young families, they have children going through schooling from a young age to university. Financial literacy is a key aspect of our business, and we support our clients to learn how to save, invest, and grow their wealth. And a key aspect of this of the segment is to take our clients through financial literacy. And because our clients are really parents, they have children, financial literacy for children is a key focus in Gold Banking. Join me on the Financial Clinic as we talk about financial literacy for children. Can't wait to see you there.
Twende mbele. NCBA. Go for it.
Absolutely, NCBA, go for it. Those are our partners this day of Financial Clinic. What a beautiful Wednesday it is, the 21st day of May 2025. Good morning from wherever you're joining us from, listening or even watching. This is Financial Clinic, where we bring you and discuss money matters. We'll be unpacking a very important topic to you as a parent, a guardian, or even just someone who's interested in learning about money, when it comes to also children. And this morning, our topic is quite exciting: financial literacy for children. And I'm joined by an amazing panel of ladies, a powerhouse when it comes to matters literacy and children and finances, all that. We'll be unpacking that here this morning. And so join me on 20316, SMS line 0786 316 316 is our WhatsApp line. Send in your questions, send in your comments, and suggestions as well, as you get to learn about financial literacy for children. My name is Sally Limo, as I also welcome my guest this morning. We're also expecting another guest to be coming in, and she'll be joining us in a few. But meanwhile, we'll start with you, Hepzibah. Welcome to our studios.
Thank you. Thank you, Sally. Thank you. My name is Hepzibah Oronda. Yeah. I'm the head of Gold Banking at NCBA Bank. And I'm honored to be here this morning. Thank you for having me.
Karibu sana.
Thank you.
And just, to start us off, what is financial literacy, really? What does it mean?
Financial literacy is just the ability of individuals to be able to understand the concepts around money, how money works, how to generate money, and at the end of the day, how do you save, how do you invest, how do you borrow. It's just the concept of understanding how money works.
Okay.
Yes.
And how is that important for children who actually, they don't work, they don't earn, but still we say it is important for them to learn about money? Why is it important?
It's absolutely important for our children to be able to understand or start grasping the concept of financial matters from an early age, right? And the reason why this is critical is so that we can grow individuals who now understand how to manage money when they become adults. They're able to have a proper financial understanding on what they need to do to grow themselves, to be able to have a secure financial future.
Okay.
Yes.
When you say early age, then how early is early?
Early is as early as maybe 2-3 years. This is the time children have probably started grasping the concept of counting, or probably they've been able to understand value. Okay. Yeah, they're able to identify something to its value. Okay. So from this young age, you can actually start introducing financial literacy or education to them. And what you do over a period of time is just tier the type of education, starting from maybe what what are the types of money we have, you know, the coins, the notes at a young age. When they get to 5 to 10 years,
Right.
you can now start talking about the value of work and how work is compensated. You can even start introducing chores at home and giving them allowances. After 10 years, you now begin introducing the more concepts that are maybe more advanced in a way, talking about saving. You can even start introducing types of accounts that we have, maybe a savings account, current accounts, how do they work? This is the time you can also introduce debit cards, talking to them about the different types of cards that we have in the system. And as they grow older, as they get to high school, as they get to university, you know, start talking about, you know, the power of compounding interest. How do you save? You know, the differences between saving, earning, spending, and even borrowing.
Wow, that sounds like quite a bit for a child, but again, we are still here, want to learn. I mean, we are here to unpack that, just to understand with a child and at what age would they understand all those, you know, and the terms as well, right?
Yes,
but
yes.
before then, we're going to get into a very short break. As you know, like we mentioned yesterday, the whole of this week we've been talking about our prayer circle live, which will be on this Friday, the 30th. Sorry, not this Friday, but the end of the month, Friday 30th, we'll be having an amazing time of praise and worship at the feet of Jesus Christ. We'll be praying and worshiping and live on this station. Ensure that you plug in on the 30th you know, of this month on a Friday. That will be from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. just being in the presence of the Most High God. And you continue with our conversation, unpacking this topic of financial literacy for children, you know, and our guest has arrived, you know, the person who's going to take us through that, because she's a parent who's actually teaching her children about money. And, you know, I'm sorry, Angie, I think you'll introduce yourself first before we delve deep into this conversation.
Thank you so much, Sally. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Hepzibah. I am a mother, and I will start with being a mother for the context of this conversation. I am a mother to 2 young children, one who's age 5, his name is Chiwo, and the second born, my little boy, who is age 3, turning 4 on Friday. And all of whom we speak about money openly. So I'm very happy to be here and to contribute towards the conversation.
Most welcome.
Asante.
It's amazing. You know, I'm just like 5'3". We speak about money.
Yes.
A 5-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Yes.
Really, that sounds very interesting. And you're coming to that. Hepzibah, we're talking about, you know, all that you've mentioned about debt management and all that. At that age, for example, the 5s and the 3s, at what level do you start? You start with the saving, or do you start with what you're talking about, the types of money we have, the notes and all that?
Yeah, so at that young age, at 3 years, you start with just identifying the types of money we have. You know, the different coins, the different notes we have. You can probably even start introducing some concepts around saving digitally, and why sometimes maybe mommy would swipe using their debit card as opposed to giving out money, or even M-Pesa and the role it plays. So this is the time you just start introducing what money is. At 5 years, you can now start rewarding through allowances. Maybe you give them a chore at home, have them spread their bed, then I'll agree that if you do this continuously for maybe a week, 2 weeks, I'll be able to give you an allowance of this much. Yeah, and at that point you can even introduce concept of piggy banks. You know, have maybe even a clear jar where you can put some coins in. When they get some allowances, they don't have to spend all of it. Show them you can actually spend a little bit, but save for you to be able maybe to buy a toy in future or something like that. So you start by phases. At 3 years, probably they don't even know what you're talking about saving and everything. At 5 years, they will be able to understand when you're talking about saving towards a goal.
Okay.
Yes.
I remember there's someone I hosted on the same, probably money matters and children. And they're like, why would I want to pay my child? I'm training them to be, responsible adults. So when you say you pay them for even spreading their beds, I don't know. But anyway, for you, Angela, what inspired you to start teaching these children early in, 3 and 5 is quite early.
Yes.
What inspired you to start teaching them about money matters at this stage?
Both my husband and I are in business, which is sometimes very radical, especially given the state of our economy and given how industries change.
Yeah.
So being a home that openly discusses money, being a home that openly discusses business, starts from as early as you can comprehend.
Okay.
Because then you realize that even for children that age, they have needs, they have wants. You want a toy. How do you buy a toy?
Yeah.
Right? And at that age, they understand reward systems. So you're in a space where you are teaching the child, like we have a little star system where you know what you're supposed to do. For example, if the incentive is potty training, you have the incentive and you have the reward. At the end of that reward, you want a toy. But where does the toy come from?
Okay.
How do we get the toy from the store to the house?
Okay.
So with that in mind, it's never too early. Yes.
Okay. Hepzibah, for you at NCBA Bank, how then do you involve the parent or help the parent in, educating these children on matters finances?
All right. We at NCBA, we believe it's critical for us to walk the journey with our children when it comes to financial matters, financial education. And parents are at the center of this journey.
Okay.
What we have done and curated is, number one, we have a junior savings account where a parent and a child will jointly open an account and start saving. So what we encourage is when they come to the bank to do deposits, they need to come with their children. Okay? Continue that journey from as young as 3 years. Once they get to an age they're able to understand, they'll be even more motivated to keep saving and bringing to the bank. We have seen scenarios where parents come with their kids with piggy banks and they come to the counter, the money is counted while the child is seeing what's happening, and it sparks an interest. And you will see they will keep coming over a period of time.
Right.
Yes. So that is what we've done with what we have encouraged our parents to do. On a higher level, we have also curated what we call a Go Educator plan. So this Go Educator plan really helps parents to save towards an education, maybe school fees in future. If you look at how school fees, how education is now expensive, you can actually tell there is need for us to start planning as early as possible. And the other day I was just speaking to one of the parents who was telling me kindergarten is more expensive now than even university. And why we encourage, you need to start from a young age. Start showing these children it's important to start saving very early. So walk the journey with them. There was a study that was done that showed if children are taught about financial matters by only the teachers, they tend to forget within 60 days. But when a parent is involved, that helps cement the education. So they're able to understand, have these skills and grow with them. And as a result, you'll find that in future, we have individuals who actually understand how money works, how to earn, how to spend, what time do you need to borrow, and how to save.
It works like TV, because in TV we say show, don't tell. You show, and I like what you're saying, show them, come with them to the bank, let them see, and I'm sure they ask questions, do they?
They do.
They
do ask questions, and they always ask, what do you do here? How can I get more money here? I want to have a lot of money in my account. So there are those questions that come, and you can actually see these genuineness for them to be able to learn and to be able to grow into that a mindset of just knowing what to do with money.
Angie, back to you. What is some of those basic financial concepts that so far you've been able to teach your children?
The first and the most interesting. I asked my son this morning because they were so excited. Mommy, you're going to tell the world about money and children. So my son Chiwo said, you have to tell them money is very important because money is for Jesus. And I was shocked. I was like, okay, I didn't see it going that direction, but okay. And that's a key principle that I thank God because of the community we have in church. Every time they go to church, they don't call it Sunday school, they say it's Sunday church, children's church. One of the concepts is at the point of tithe or at the point of offering, they're told, carry money for Jesus. So whether you remove it from your piggy bank, whether you get some from mommy or daddy, make sure as you come to church, you have money for Jesus. And that's a core principle that thanks to church and the community, they have been able to learn very early. So that is the first. I think the second is planning. I will say that has been taught by my husband and less of me because I wasn't much of a planner as a child, and it's not something that as a family where I grew up, we really took heed to. But my husband would make fun of his dad and say, you would go to see the same TV 10 times before you buy it. And as a child, you're like, are we at the store to buy it or we've just come to see again? But it helps with the element of planning. Plan before you spend. Plan is so crucial because your children understand, I want this, and something interesting they keep saying, and I'm happy as a dad he's been able to teach all of us, is plan. And the children will ask, are we buying today or are we planning? Are we buying today or are we planning? And it's something I have now learned in my adulthood by being his partner and him being a steward of our family, that you can plan for a purchase well in advance. So there is an element of Christianity, there is an element of planning, but there is also the element that you are able to see money from a positive light. Growing up, many times we were told, but if you are able to teach your children that money is a tool, it is a good thing to have, then it allows children to grow up seeing money from a point of view and finances from a point of view where they're not afraid. They're able to take risk, they're able to know that I am supposed to use this not just for myself, but for other people around me as well.
Right. And you know, with that then comes money management. In the whole of that planning and all, there's also money management right there, isn't it, Hepzibah? And so does NCBA then come in, do you provide tools or even resources to help children manage money in a certain way?
Okay, so the main tools that we have is number one, the savings account that they will open with their parent. Of course, they will walk the journey from a young age until 18 years. At 18 years, they're able now to transition to their own student account. So there's a special student account curated for those who are already 18, maybe still going through education, and until the point where they start earning, maybe they've been employed or they're now in business. Now they can transition to a fully fledged current account which they can use. So we have that. Number two, we have the Go Educator plan, which I would encourage parents to actually reach out because it's curated based on the age of the child. So if a child is, say, 10 years now, we'll probably give you something that will cover education until about maybe 18, maybe for 8 years or something like that. If a child is younger, which we encourage you start younger, because then that means it gives you a longer time as a parent to save and also get a bigger lump sum at the time they probably are going to university, so that you're giving them a head start in life, right? We also continuously do educational forums. We do webinars. We do physical sessions where we invite customers in to come, sometimes with their kids, for us to be able to have a conversation all round. Of course, having a different sort of conversation with the kids, trying to show them what you want to be when you get older, and this is the path you probably need to chart. And so we really work with our customers. So we do understand financial matters. It's just not a one hit, you know, one hit wonder show or something. It's a journey.
Okay.
We work with you.
All right.
I encourage even the young people who still probably are yet to start families to reach out to us. We'll be able to guide them on what to do and how to start planning for their families.
Okay, and talking about journey, Angie, how has your journey with NCBA helped you, you know, in just educating these children on matters money, your relationship with the NCBA?
I think NCBA is a very interesting bank, and I will say this in this way. They are very intertwined in your life. Intertwined in your life in the sense that I thank God for the gift of having good RMs, and that is across all the accounts and all the businesses that we have with them. And they call, they care, they ask. They will call and ask you, hey, has he gone to school? Okay, I've seen this has happened. That there's an element of care that the bank has been able to give us, especially as business owners, that allows us just the peace of mind to be able to raise our children and raise them well. I think another element is the flexibility of the bank. The flexibility in the sense that you are able to do it as a parent and with your children. That makes the whole difference, because sometimes it could be I am saving for you, as I'm saving for my child, but then my child has no idea. You cannot have a conversation with them. They don't know where their money is put. So there's that element of you're moving your money from your piggy bank to the bank, and you have a bank account that you can access. And even if you cannot, I think my son who's turning 4 can only count till 50. No, katikati there's a lot of 44 follows 47. But then the basic principle is there, because then you know you're able to access a bank account. You have a little blue piggy bank where you throw your coins in, but there's an element of continuity that the bank is able to offer, and just a bit more care in that. I think all our RMs know our kids' names.
Wow.
Yeah, so that has been very special for NCBA.
Oh, fantastic. Wow. And you know, in all this, as they're saving, of course, do you talk to them about interest? And how do you explain that for them to understand?
Okay, so as business people, we speak about interest in a bit of a different way.
Right.
So for example, when there's a time we traveled to China, and part of that was actually courtesy of the bank. And one of the key things we were looking for is, when do the children start a business? So beyond just interest in terms of compounding, interest from investments that you earn as a profit from a business. So like Chio now wants to start a Paw Patrol business because we have looked for Mighty Pups toys locally and not been able to find them. And they're in high supply in China. So when we're there, it's like, see, this you can buy, you can sell, you can make a profit from whatever money you have, and whatever then you have, you then put it in the bank. I think once or twice we've mentioned that if you put this, it can grow to become this. So they don't really get it right now, but then I'm sure that by the time they are 8, 9, and he's run his Paw Patrol business for 2 or 3 years, then he'll be able to understand that element of compounding more.
And you know, as they grow, Hepzibah, so they're in upper, is it upper school or high school and all that. Now, what concepts come into play here?
So as they grow, maybe after maybe 10 years, they're now getting to the higher schools. There are things now you need to start mentioning. Number one, it's important for them to understand what's a need and what's a want. And what's the difference. Why is it that some wants probably are not critical at this age? So that's the difference of, you know, the need and want needs to come in strongly at that point. Also savings and borrowing or even spending, you know, those critical matters. How do I earn? How do I save? What do I spend on, and why is it critical for me to be able to spend on this at this point? Or do I even employ delayed gratification for me to probably keep saving and spend at a future date. All right? And also at this point, the importance of compounding interest.
Right.
Yeah. This is the time you now start showing that when you have money, it doesn't necessarily mean you will always have money. There is earning, and there's also keeping this money, you know, having that ability to be able to save this money for future needs. Yeah, so these are some of the critical matters you start bringing up when they get to high school, maybe upper primary. Yes.
Wow. And I think with that we'll take another break. But before we take the break, just remember that it is very important to understand what you're doing, how you're doing it, and why you're doing it. And in that regard, then we're going to be watching this clip on building a cathedral. Please get to watch it and ask yourself some questions, if possible. See you in a few.
Once, a man walked through a construction site. He watched 3 workers laying bricks. He asked each of them the same simple question: "What are you doing?" The first said, "I'm laying bricks. It's tough work, but it pays the bills." The second replied, "I'm building a wall. It's just part of my job." But the third, he smiled and said, "I'm building a cathedral." At Family Media, we understand this story. We're not just laying bricks either. We are building a place of hope, a place where faith is restored, where children learn God's love, where stories of transformation go out 24/7. We are building a cathedral through media. But we are not building it alone. You, our partners, are helping us lay every brick.
Family allows us to be partners, yeah? Whether you're giving 100, 500, 1,000, 10,000, a million, you can be part of the family. There's a need in today's world for people to hear this gospel, and there's no better space than media.
Every gift, every prayer, every encouragement is part of something eternal.
It will touch me every time you're told that you listen to it because somebody else gave.
Some are called to be apostles. In that line of calling, we are also called to take Jesus to the airwaves.
Thank you for seeing beyond the bricks. Thank you for seeing the cathedral. Thank you for choosing to build with us, soul by soul. Together, let's keep building with purpose, with faith, and with joy. Family Media, keeping Jesus on the airwaves.
Kote nchini, matumaini, tujitahidi, tujivunie, tuendelee. Mbele, twende mbele. Mbele, mbele. Tuendelee. Twende mbele. 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 Twende mbele. Tuendelee. Mbele. Kenya, twende mbele.
Kenya,
Tuendelee.
twende mbele. NCBA, go for it.
Absolutely, NCBA, and this is how we do it. NCBA, go for it. Yeah, so go for it. Go for that financial literacy at NCBA. Open that account. You know, do what you need to do this morning. Honestly, I always say this is free consultancy from a parent. By the way, this beautiful lady you're seeing here, she's in the construction space. Do you see beautiful people in the construction space? Learn from them. There's Hepzibah here, head of Go Banking. My friend, all that information that you may have been looking for all this while is right here. So keep talking to us on 20316, SMS line 0786 316 316, and your questions will be answered right here today. Welcome back, ladies.
Thank you.
Angie, you know, there's something we're talking about just, you know, during the break.
Yes.
Delayed gratification. How do you do that with the children? Is it possible?
It is very possible.
Yeah.
And it is only by us learning and unlearning that we are able to now teach that to our children. One easy way to teach delayed gratification to your children is through reward. So, have something your children like. It could be marshmallows, it could be chocolate, it could be sweets. Give them one and tell them, you have one, mommy is going to the kitchen, and if I come back after 5 minutes and you've not eaten that one, I give you 2.
Wow.
Go for your 5 minutes. Go around the house, go do your chores, go do whatever you will do. Leave your child, trust your child with whatever it is you have given them.
Yeah.
Come back after 5 minutes. High chances are, because your children know the reward in waiting, no one will have touched that sweet. Give 2. Practice with something else. Keep practicing, keep practicing. Let them wait, because they know. Do lists with your children. You see, do lists. Have a full-on list of the things your children say. Toys, because that's what play is the most exciting thing for children right now. And they go in phases. You'll have a phase where your child likes Lion King, another one where they like Sonic, another one where they like Paw Patrol. Instead of instantly rewarding by buying, ask them at the end of this week, this is what you need to do. But let us see, will you have done it one, and will you wait for the end of the week to get your reward? And most times they practice that element of waiting, because we need to teach our children at this very young and early age how to wait. Because what also happens is we're living in a very fast-paced world where you want, you get, dopamine is easily available. So the practice of patience, the lesson, the discipline in patience is crucial to teach, even from the age of 1.
Fantastic. That sounds, well, I can imagine a child with a sweet right in front of them, and they're just counting down, Okay. Now, you know, there's a question online, you know, from our viewer or listener. Someone is asking, Hepzibah, can our guest explain what exactly is gold banking? Does it mean there's silver and platinum, and what would be the merits of each?
All right. I knew this question was going to come, Sally. All right. So gold banking is just a title we have set for the segment that I currently manage. So in NCBA Bank and consumer banking, we have 3 types of segments. We have the gold banking, which really takes care of people who are earning a salary of between 150,000 to about 850,000. All right. We also have another segment called platinum, and we also have premier banking. So these are high-end segments, affluent segments. So gold is really a middle affluent segment. This is for those who are already starting, you know, they've gotten somewhere in their career, they've started earning, and they've grown their careers in a way that they're starting to make money between 150 to about 800. So speak to us. Most of our customers actually fit into this segment. This is the right segment for us. We have relationship managers that take care of our customers. They will come and visit you. They will create webinars where they're, you know, talking to you and educating you through different matters. Yes.
Wow. And I'm seeing someone online asking, hello, Sally and the panelists. My questions are, 1, how does Angela help her children manage emotions related to money, like impatience or disappointment? And then do you talk to them about bigger financial topics like investing, debt, or even long-term savings yet? So we start with the emotions related to money.
I have very quickly learned that what you say versus what you do determine what your children pick up.
Okay.
So I can come and tell my child, do this, don't get angry, da da da. But then immediately someone messages you and it's wrong or it's gone bad, you're like, you blow up. Your children learn from what you do.
Yeah.
Basic principle. It doesn't sound good. This principle doesn't sound good, but I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
It is monkey see, monkey do. Basic.
Yeah.
They will do what they see you do.
Okay.
Not what you say.
Yeah.
And so how you emotionally, or you teach your child how to regulate themselves emotionally, not just around money, around everything else, is also based on vulnerability.
Okay.
When something doesn't go right, like for us, when we were setting up the factory, it was a stressful time, but the children were there. Every single day, they were there at the factory as we set up, as things went wrong, as things went right, as trucks came in, as trucks came out, as containers came in, as containers came out, as we tried to figure it all out. They were part of the process. Because then you actually sit and you're vulnerable and you say, Mommy is not very happy, or Mommy is frustrated. Frustration is an emotion.
Yeah.
Mommy is frustrated or Daddy is frustrated because this is not working. But for me to be able to figure it out, I need to first breathe.
Okay.
Breathe, pray, think, sort it out.
Okay.
And you will hear your child in a very different context.
Right.
Come and copy and say, oh, Chiwo needs to breathe.
Yeah.
Chiwo needs to breathe because he's feeling very frustrated.
Right.
And it is allowed. So you're able to go through the spectrum of emotion.
Okay.
We have introduced investment from the side of business, but we have not introduced it in its full capacity yet because of their age.
Yeah.
But I have seen other friends of mine within the same space, business owners, other friends in corporate, who have been able to teach these other money principles to their children who are 8, who are 12. And I think seeing my friends travel, especially with their children, allows them to see the full spectrum. So allow your child to see the full spectrum, from emotion to how you spend money, to whether you look at your M-Pesa balance at the end of the day and track what your spending was. They will do what they see you do.
What they've seen you do.
Yes.
Fantastic. Then there's Samuel Tuwe, who comes from Kericho, perhaps, but is for you. They say, wow, that's powerful stuff. I have 5 children.
Okay.
Ages 4, 9, 12, 15. Kindly, for guidance with the bank, NCBA, connect me with our guest in studio so that I begin saving as I'm in up country. That is Samuel from Kericho. And I think we'll be able to do that, Samuel. Thank you so much for that. And then someone else is asking, does NCBA offer simulations like saving competition to help kids practice more skills in a fun way?
Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting question, and I know we are now, in a digital world. There's a lot of talk around AI. So there's something we are working on. It's still in production, and I would like to advise our client to reach out. We should be able to let them, know once we have the tool ready.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So watch this space. Something is coming,
and they should join NCBA so that once it's out, they'll be the first.
Exactly.
Fantastic. Then there's also another question. How is NCBA reaching out to children who are out of school or living in formal settlement? And there's a question I was also going to ask, because also the rural children as well. How do you reach out to them? And that's a question our viewer listener is actually concerned or would want to know.
All right. So one thing I need to mention here is that our presence is across the country. We are now at 100 branches, right? And you will find branches like Chwele, which is deep in Western, right? You will get a branch in Busia.
Yeah.
So where our branches are situated, the work our branch managers, we call them branch CEOs.
Yes.
The work they do is really get down to the roots, have conversations with people around the communities, set up financial literacy programs and educative series where we talk with parents, with the different people, at the grassroots. So our presence actually supports this because remember, one of our goals is actually to foster economic stability and to support communities in places where, you know, naturally wouldn't find a lot of this information, like the cities, right? So we are at the ground, we are on the ground, and through our branches we are able to communicate with people and even children, even those who are out of school. We partner with organizations in these areas.
Fantastic. You know, Angie, we had spoken about, I think we had touched on allowances, just giving these kids some allowance. Do you do that?
Yes, we do. We do. How we have structured our family business is to allow to have a group. Our family group handles the different elements of business that we have. And what we truly believe is before you work anywhere else, you will work for the family business first. Gain the basic skills, the basic discipline. Whether that is cleaning, whether that is washing the cups at this age, whatever that is, you will do, because the core of understanding financial discipline is being able to start at the very bottom. We do give our children an allowance, and I think it stems from the element of allow your children to see money from a positive light. You don't only earn money by suffering. It is a principle, because a lot of things we are learning. Because if you teach your children that it is only through pure sheer struggle and pain, then that is what they associate money with. So the structure of our group will allow our children, even at an older age, to earn an allowance, because you're shareholders in these organizations, you're shareholders in these businesses from an early age. So whether you are 10 or whether you are 50, whether mommy is there or daddy is there, there will be an allowance, but there is an element that you have to work for. There's a principle that I will just mention in passing, which I learned the other day. It's called the matriarch's garden. The matriarch's garden is you do not pluck a flower before you plant a flower. So you have a garden, you have a veranda, you have the small pot that you could have even put in the corner of your house, whether or not you have a veranda. You do not pluck a flower from there up until you pick another seedling. That could be 50 shillings. And plant it. Yes. So that allows children to know that yes, you can earn allowance, it is allowed, but make sure you have brought another plant, that there is another flower that will allow you to pluck a flower for tomorrow.
Fantastic. Yeah, Hepzibah, that sounds good.
That's amazing.
Now, because of time, I need to rush through some comments that I wouldn't want to leave out. Hepzibah, good morning, Sally. What's the procedure, or rather requirement, to start a child's account? And is it fixed, or can I make withdrawal from the account in case of an emergency? And then I think NCBA, same person, should start financial clubs in schools. The conversation on this show is a world-changing knowledge. There you go.
Thank you. Thank you for that comment. We'll take that. I think that's an amazing proposal.
Absolutely.
We'll pick it up and work on it. On the first question around savings account, the requirement is just basically to get the child's birth certificate or notification. You can also come in with your ID as a parent, and we will be able to set up the account for you. Yeah, it's as simple as that. It's a savings account. So this means the concept of a savings account is that you can only withdraw once in a month. But it doesn't mean that you cannot access your money whenever there is an emergency. All we are doing is just to help you put your money together. It will be earning some interest, because it's a savings account. But when you need to access the money, you can access the money. What we encourage is maybe once in a month, that will be enough for you to withdraw, so that you're also not putting in money today and withdrawing after a week. So we're trying to discourage that. So talk to us. We'll
and the importance of an emergency fund, isn't it?
Exactly.
Angie, growing up, just before we wrap up this show, what did you learn about money that you may want to unlearn today, or just for your kids, something that you learned and you're like, this one, no?
So it is a negative element around money. So I've been very conscious about that.
Yes.
Because you see, growing up, money was in very short supply. But then you grow up and you realize that people who are on 25K salaries did a world of difference within their life by simply applying certain money principles. So that is something I've really had to unlearn, and also ask myself, what is a biblical element towards wealth creation? What is a biblical element towards money, right? And you realize within the Bible, money was never viewed negatively. Money was never viewed negatively. It is the choices that people made with wealth and money that caused demise. But for most people, it was a tool for the goodness and greatness and the expansion of the kingdom of God. So unlearning the negativity that is shrouded around money is something I have been very intentional about. And that is, I'm not only passing to my children, but even to my friends and to anyone I speak to. It is, how do we view money from a positive sense, and from there learn these principles that have been there since the beginning of time and the beginning of exchange. Yes.
Fantastic. You know, if you're to speak to a parent listening to you right now, there's a lot of online shopping going on. How can they address the risks of shopping online?
Yes, this is an age where we cannot avoid shopping online. There's a lot of scams that actually go this scam, you'll find these people are actually going for people who do not know what is required of them to protect themselves. My advice to parents is that, number one, be very careful when it comes to online shopping. Avoid links. You know, when somebody forwards you a link and tells you this is the online banking for NCBA, avoid links. It's proper to go through the right website to be able to use your cards properly. And whenever you're shopping online, if you have maybe avoid saving, you know, the debit card or the card information online when you're shopping, because sometimes when you save this information, it can fall to the wrong people. Yes.
Fantastic. And you know, just before we're wrapping here, the pressure here. Hi, Sally. Being someone who loves kids, I'm enjoying and learning a lot from this show. At least I have something to teach kids and parents when doing my kids' event. Where I can't explain, I'm now confident to refer them to NCBA. Very insightful panel. Amazing. Thank you so much for that comment. And you know, Angie, in 30 seconds, wrapping up, what's your parting shot?
My parting shot is, as a parent, what you do reflects what your children do. So please, please, please allow yourself to exist in a realm of abundance and a realm that allows your children to see that there are endless possibilities. Money is not just for you, but it is what you do for other people that determines the effect and the legacy that your money will leave.
Oh, wow. Wow. Just before, there's this thing of parents always saying, I don't have money. Speak to that briefly, either of you. I don't have money.
No, do not say you don't have money when you have money. It is wrong, because then it creates an element of scarcity in your child's mind. You can say, we have a budget, and once that budget has been exhausted, we will not have any more to spend, and you can plan for it next month. But don't constantly, because that becomes your reality. Constantly speaking that out becomes your reality, your declaration into the world and to your children, and that's what your children hear at the back of their mind. So change that, change that.
That's what we had. I had to ask about that. Because our parents, I know our parents used to be, I do not have money. Please, in 30 seconds as well.
Thank you. For me, what I can say is you have the power in your hands to start walking the journey with your kids. Remember, it's our divine work as parents to start showing our children how to save, how to start using money as a tool. As she said, it's actually a tool for us to achieve goals in future, right? So speak to us today, walk to any NCBA bank, ask for that savings account, ask for that Go Educator, and we shall walk the journey with you. It's never too late. Even if you've not started, start today.
Yes.
I love that. There's hope.
Yes.
It's never too late. Go educator, go for it. You know, NCBA is about going for stuff. You know,
yes.
so go for the go educator. You know, go for all these things. Go for the accounts. You know, build your child's future now. It is not too late and it is not too early to start saving and teaching these children on matters money. Thank you so much for your time, for the questions, for the comments, for the feedback. We really do appreciate it. And for those who've asked for the contacts, we'll definitely share them after the end of the show. I also want to give a big thank you, asante sana, to our partners, a very special group of people, to us as Family Media, people who've been holding our hands for the last 25 years, working with us to bring you such impactful content, you know, educating you and unpacking some very sensitive topics and learning together. I want to say asante sana. And if you want to be part of this community that is impacting lives out there, you can do that by sending the word partner to 20316 SMS line or 0786316316. That is our WhatsApp line, and someone will reach out to you. But also, if you want to support this ministry, you can do that by sending any kind of support to 316, the pay bill number, and the account number shall be your telephone number. God bless you and keep you. See you again tomorrow on Matters Relationship. We'll be talking about part 2 of Behind the Ring. Why do women decide just to forget about themselves once they get married? So Behind the Ring part 2 will be with us tomorrow morning. God bless you and keep you. See you again tomorrow, God willing. Bye for now.